Oh, hello YouTube. I've been expecting you. This is the oily rig from Team Maniacs. There's a guy that if you haven't heard of, then you probably should. Big oily guy, king of the bandos. Now this guy flies harder than anyone I've ever seen. And if this frame's good enough for him, then it's good enough for me. This frame is available from Team Maniacs, teammaniacs.com. Check them out. It has a 2mm top plate, a 3mm bottom plate, a 3mm mending plate, 5mm arms. We've kitted this one out with Maniacs FPV Twans motors. These are a 2207 16. These are a 2207 plus 1860 for 6S. This is a 6S build. We're running a Vista in this one, so it's HD, and a very generic flight controller and ESC. We're not going to worry about that. This is about the frame, not about what I put in it and how I build it. Let's go. All right, it's the oily rig build. Here we go. You're going to get 4 arms, obviously. This is the mending plate, a bottom plate with the press nuts that face up, and a top plate. Also, a couple of straps and a bag of fixings. You're going to need those. Okay. In the fixings, you're going to get your standoffs, some big cap heads, medium-sized cap heads, small cap heads, some black bolts, some bigger button heads, and some smaller button heads, probably for the top plate. The important thing to note here is that this mending plate only goes on one way, right? The press nuts, they want to go up. They want to be facing up, okay? So get your mending plate and make sure it's all the armholes line up. There's 2 bolts for the arm and they all just want to line up. If I can build this, you can build this, okay? So just get them, or once you've got them lined up, grab an arm, make sure the armholes line up, okay? This is also important. When you got it right, grab one of your medium-sized cap head bolts there and just screw it into the press nut. Easy. Now, I just put one of these in for each arm for now. Get all of those arms in using the medium-sized cap head bolt and go through the hole that lines up with the press nut. Easy, right? Just do that 4 times. The more of the arms you get in, the less wiggly it gets. It gets easier. Don't tighten these up too much. Just get them secure so they're all holding in place. There we go. Okay, I'm probably tightening these up too much now, so don't tighten them up that much because you're going to want them nice and wiggly to get the rest of the bolts in. Right, now we're going to use some of the longer cap head bolts and go through the other armholes. There you go. Easy. Grab one of your standoffs, wiggle it on. Simple, right? This is why you leave the arms loose, so that they can wiggle about a bit and it makes it easier to get the bolts through. And it's going to start taking shape now. Okay, one more of these medium-sized cap head bolts and it's going straight through the middle. This locks everything into place. And once you've got this one in, you can probably tighten the rest of them up a bit. Get it all nice and tight, nice and solid. Okay, next. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the standoffs in. And these are the smaller cap head bolts. Pop one through there. Grab a standoff. Twisty twisty. Easy. Just do that for the rest of the holes for the standoffs. 2 at the front, 2 at the back. Starting to take shape. Here we go. Okay, these black bolts are going to be for your flight control stack. I like to take a little nylon nut and wind it on just to secure it. This is the way I build. You don't have to build your flight controller this way and your ESCs this way. This is just the way I do it. So I've got my ESC in. Again, this is just the way I do it. I like to run the XT60 out the front with a capacitor in the front. Okay, it's motor time, and for this bad boy, the only thing we can really put on it are the Twans from Team Maniacs. These are a 2207 plus motor, 1860 kV for 6S or 2500 kV if you want to run 4S or 5S. These are 1860 kV that I'm going to be running. This is going to be a 6S build. You're getting 2 sets of motor bolts with these, or as usual. Make sure they don't stick out past the base plate. There you go. That's how you want them to look. There we go. Get all your motors in. Just a couple, just snugged up for now. Do that a few more times. And she's there, motors are on. Now we can think about soldering the motors to the ESC. Just a little dab of solder on these. Now I've got the crossfire antenna kind of where I want it. It's just taped in place for now. So the motors are now all soldered up. That's perfect. I'm also going to be running a Vista. This is a HD build. So next job is getting in the flight controller in the Vista. Bing! Done. While I was doing the flight controller in the Vista, I've fitted the camera to stop it flopping about. That camera mount is my design, but we'll make it available. You'll be able, I'll supply the STL for that if people want it. That's no problem. I've also made the rear antenna mount, which is another one of my designs. There are other designs out there. This is just how I choose to build it, and I've printed out the skids. So we're gonna slap them on now, and she's done. I mounted the top plate, obviously, with them button head screws. Used the slightly longer ones where the GoPro fits and some shorter ones at the back. But she's looking all good. Ready to take her out and fly.